So I've made a video before where I take these CNC offcuts and I make another guitar from them. They are really cool. You can see it's got a negative outline of the actual body, and the wood surrounding it is still good. So this is a two-piece mahogany piece of scrap, but I have tons of these, and I have alder, mahogany, there's some basswood, and I hate to throw them away because they're such good pieces of wood. You can see here's the maple top on this. And so I'll link to the old video that I made about creating two guitars from the same piece of wood, this wood. But today we're going to make a cigar box guitar. We also have these offcuts here from the CNC. So this is for a neck. This is what it comes out to, and I have a bunch of these as well. I've sold a lot of necks, I've sold a lot of bodies. I keep all the scrap. And this portion right here is perfect for a cigar box guitar neck. It's exactly the right height and the right width, and the length that I can get from about here to there's come up with pretty much 23-inch scale, which is the biggest I can get from this, but I can go smaller if I wanted to. So what we're going to do is use the offcut of this mahogany blank, this piece right here, and for the heel of the neck we're going to use a piece of alder. It's basically just like this. This is going to be the box I'm going to use. It's a white high gloss enamel Garcia & Garcia cigars. It's really cute. It smells delicious in there. Look at that. It's got some mahogany lining on the inside. There's a mahogany piece of wood here. And then all this is some kind of very soft fir. I think it's fir, maybe even pine. And then around the mahogany lining, there's also some fir pine. So that's going to be the build. White cigar box guitar, mahogany neck. There'll be an alder heel that goes all the way through inside the cigar box. And then we're going to have like a spalted maple fretboard that I have left over. All right, let's get to it. Sometime in the late 1800s, the United States government imposed a tax on tobacco. So tobacco companies packaged their cigars in these tiny wooden boxes that were sealed with an official tax stamp. In the 1800s, musical instruments were expensive to common folk, but there were these cigar boxes in almost every household. There are early etchings of Civil War soldiers playing cigar box fiddles and mandolins. The beauty of cigar box guitars is they're not precision instruments, and they don't have to be pretty. They are mainly made with found objects and spare parts. And that's why I like building them. I don't follow any process. I don't even really measure. I just fly by the seat of my pants. This is the exact opposite of how I normally work when I build guitars. When I'm building geometry in CAD, where precision is everything. I had this idea that I wanted to keep the cigar box as intact as possible. So I didn't want to notch out the lid to make room for that alder neck heel. Instead, I was going to notch out the alder. That sounds like I may be introducing structural weaknesses into the neck, but really those three strings aren't really pulling that hard. It's a lot of fun to just get a pencil and a saw and just kind of go for it. I do my scarf joints a little differently. I try to maximize all the wood I can. This is a jig I made out of scrap wood. It's hard to articulate exactly what it's doing, but you'll see. I clamp it down onto my miter saw. It's on there really good. Then I clamp the stock onto the jig, and it's also securely on there. And I can move that neck blank up or down to meet the saw blade at the angle that I want. And that's it. Is it perfectly accurate? No, but it doesn't have to be. It's a cigar box guitar. The cut is fairly clean. It wouldn't take much to clean it up with some planes or sandpaper. I'm not doing anything special here. I place some wax paper down, and then I clamp the neck down so it doesn't move, and then put a little stop block towards the headstock, so when I clamp these two pieces together and it starts to slide, it'll be stopped by that stop block. The mahogany inserts need to be glued in. I always reinforce the box. What I'm not showing on camera is I actually put little square pegs in the corners too, just to reinforce the box so it doesn't buckle under any pressure. I don't have to really think about matching the grain on the wings for the headstock. Just whatever scrap pieces I had laying around, stick them on. I wanted to put a veneer on, but I was too lazy to plane this any thinner, so it's a really thick piece of Babingo. I was sliding around a whole bunch, but I finally got it to sit still and clamp it down. And I never clean up my glue joints. Stick it on the table and let the end mill clean it up. The end mill doesn't care if the Z height's a little off by a few millimeters, it'll cut right through it. I usually take the lid off to do the F-holes, but I couldn't get the hinges to come off, so I just put the whole box on there. They come out really clean. What's rough is the paper, the sticker. I have to file that to get all those little sticker crumbles off. That's a scrap piece of oak with mahogany lining that I put onto the alder. And there's that scrap spalted maple I had. I barely had enough. I did a leveling off camera, and I don't spend too much time crowning, just round them over. And then immediately hit it with some 600 and then 1,000 just to get the scratches out. And then I finish off with 3,000, just back and forth, back and forth. This is not how I do guitar frets, but this is how I do them on the cigar box guitars. And this is good enough. They don't have to be perfect. Nothing on a cigar box guitar has to be perfect. Under magnification, you can see most of the scratches are gone. I like these tiny engineer squares. They get in all the little tight corners. I'm just aligning the neck to the body, and then I tack it down with like 2 drops of super glue, just so it doesn't move. And I can flip it over and screw it down. And I'm using these gold galvanized decking screws. They work really well, and I like the way they look. And if you remember my last video with the dirty Strat, these are the tuners that came off of it. And it's bison bone nut. I'm just gonna grind that down to get to the proper height. Have some more scrap oak, and I'm using it as a bridge plate, again to reinforce the cigar box guitar and to give it some height. I really wish I had mahogany, but I had that oak, and again, it's all about finding what you got laying around and sticking it on. I'm going to be using a flat pup humbucker, and this is the cover for it. I highly recommend you watch to the end and listen to the playthrough so you can hear what these pickups sound like. They are fabulous, and I'll probably never use a piezo pickup again. These are flat, they don't require a route, and you can stick them pretty much on anything. And they're hum canceling, so they make zero noise. And just a washer I had laying around and a knob that I painted gold and clear coated. This will be the last time that box is opened. These are single saddle bridges, so I use a tiny thin wire running across all three to ensure they're all grounded. It's almost invisible. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.